Hello and welcome. My name is Asha, founder of Accra Parent. Through Apex, we have learned that some of the most meaningful schools began with a simple idea, a small community, and a genuine commitment to children. Today, we're at Petite Elise Preschool, a school that began as an activity center, but in under 2 years has evolved into an amazing preschool. This type of growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens when people buy into your idea and understand the vision. Come with us whilst we take a closer look at Petite Elise and how it has evolved, and what parents can expect once they join this amazing community. I want us to talk about Petite Elise a little bit,
Okay.
but I want to take you back to the beginning because I know that it started out as Building Blocks Activity Center. I just want to know what inspired that even in the first place until now.
Okay. So I think online, everyone knows me as Talkative Mom. And so Talkative Mom has always been about community.
Yep.
And we needed a community space. I saw this space. I decided this would be the perfect location for a community center. And so Talkative Mom Studios was launched. And in Talkative Mom Studios, we were hosting, events for the community, parents, moms, little community that had just started. And we wanted to have another building where we could babysit the kids when we are having these, events.
Right.
And so I got in babysitters, and then we would do some child minding and that kind of thing. And I guess the child minding was so good that everyone was like, "Oh, it's a daycare." They were asking, "Is it a daycare?" And I was like, "No, it's not a daycare. It's just babysitting. We do like activities and stuff like that." And we had just started our Building Blocks program. We noticed that most parents were using the Building Blocks program service, like the service that we were offering there, which was child minding,
Right.
night, overnight, and then during the day as well. And then I would say the concentration had now shifted to Building Blocks. So now we're doing a lot more activities there, baby and me classes, stuff like that. And then over time, the parents again, because usually I go by feedback from the parents. So the parents were like, they really would like a daycare. So we started to run a daycare. That was so just taking you back, Talkative Mom Studios was launched in 2023, along with Building Blocks. And then by 2024, February 1st, it was a daycare.
At what point did you realize, I think you were getting there, so at what point did you realize that this was growing into something bigger than the daycare and then expanded into Petite Elise?
I noticed that more and more parents just needed, I guess, time to do their own stuff.
Yeah.
Because, parenting shouldn't be take over our entire lives. And that was what was happening to a lot of us. It's like every single thing you do has to be around the kids. Meanwhile, you have your own life. So then in order for them to be able to go do their own things, they would come, drop off their kids. And they wanted like a safe home-like environment. And that's what we were offering at the time. So we realized that this was something that was needed. And we could probably do the two simultaneously. So we would still host our programs at the studios and then still take care of these kids. So I'll say a couple of months after, that's when we realized that we have to put in some more structure when it comes to running this space.
I want to also learn how you've ensured that the growth that you have achieved hasn't compromised your quality. Because I walk in here and what did I say when I came? And I said, I came in a few months ago and it's even changed. Like it's even looking better and better and you're growing. So how have you ensured that this place is just constantly improving itself?
Yeah. So there was a lot of planning at the very beginning. In terms of even like teacher-child ratios, the class capacity, everything was planned out before. And we made sure that we stick to that. So at the minute we get to 16 kids in a class, we're not admitting anymore. And then you can go on the wait list when we grow, we can call you. And then, yeah, there's so many other things that we did. A lot of the classrooms, we realized, they needed like more ventilation, sunlight, things like that. So we created bigger windows, exit doors. Like, it's been a learning curve. And then just constant improvements. That's my thing. I want people to walk in and say, oh, there was this new addition. Oh, you did this. Like, I don't want it to be like we are comfortable and it's the same thing. Oh, we saw this one thing and then that's it. And I'm a big believer in evolution and then also feedback, like working on feedback. So I don't like it when you meet someone and it's like, oh, they say, oh, but we've been doing this like for like 20 years and is that we're doing fast and that's it, because times are changing, really.
Yep.
So we are always learning, always, like we lean a lot on feedback. I don't play with feedback. So once we get feedback and it's constructive, we will work on it. Nothing over here is by chance, honestly, nothing. Like even like the culture, it was very intentional. How we address each other. I'm talking about like, everyone like, oh, Miss Adelaide, Miss Gipsy, Miss this.
Yeah.
Just as like a sign of respect. How we talk to the kids. There was a parent, I can give you an example. There was a parent that said the first day she walked in, she was like, this is fake. There's no way she's buying this because how is everyone so nice? And she said, I'm going to observe them for some time. So she observed us for about 2 weeks, observed how the caregivers were interacting with the kids, observed how the caregivers were interacting with each other, and then also observed us under pressure. Because this was around our carol service. And she said she wanted to see, because there was a lot of things going on that day. So she wanted to see how we would still speak to each other, even under pressure. And she gave me that feedback. I had no idea that was happening. So it's very intentional.
Mystery shopper.
Yes. During our interviews, one of the things I always say, it's something they all know. I say, we all have bad habits. Let's leave them at home. When you come to work, be professional.
Yep.
So it's very intentional.
I can't put it in a sentence, but then Petite Elise is a lot of things, right? When we look at it from working relations, it's more like being away from home in a different home setting, just that it's more professional. So we're more united in our dealings here. We value communication and what. So I think a word I would use is unique. We're unique in our own way and in the way we carry out our activities, or if I'm being very honest. And I'd like to say that we have one of the best care in East Legon, yes, because our care is one of a kind. We have very good caregivers who are very equipped in what they are doing. And so they literally make us Petite Elise because the care we have here is, I'd say, is different from what's out there.
One thing that I noticed was that the parents would come in, they would come in and take a seat. And because tomorrow is Valentine's Day, I also noticed there was a little bowl over there with these heart-shaped cards, and they were all writing these love letters to their children. I'm assuming, I don't know if that's correct.
Yes, it's correct.
But can you just talk about that? Because I think that is so sweet and thoughtful.
Yeah. Okay, so for Val's Day, we wanted the kids to have a feel of what Valentine feels like. And so we had these heart-shaped cards for the parents to write love letters. And even though our babies can't read yet, we feel like these can be keepsakes for the future that their parents could read to them, or they could read themselves when they get to that age. And it's just like a nice way to just let the parents and the kids feel loved and appreciated.
You've spoken about the culture, you've spoken about so many things. What would you say to someone today who is kind of like, Petite Elise or XYZ?
I would say that if you are a parent and you want proper care, when it comes to childcare, number one. Yes, when it comes to childcare, when it comes to care, I can tell you 100%, we put in a lot of effort when it comes to that. So that's one. So when it comes to learning, we don't believe that learning only happens in the classroom.
Thank
So you see that on our walls, on our, the inscriptions on the murals and things like that. Kids are always learning, from the activities that we do here as well. Everything is a part of the learning experience. So if you want like a well-rounded child, definitely bring them to Petite Elise.